Good boys. Yep, final day of the week. Let's end off strong. Stay disciplined. Don't lose too much. Take a good trade if one presents itself. This is the 1 minute chart. Chart. Okay. We don't have to wait for 10 a.m. news, but we may. I'll give you guys a rundown of my game plan. 400 from passing eval and you got liquidated. Why'd you get liquidated? What happened? What you thinking today, Gaddy? Shorts or longs? I'll break it down. We'll break it down. I'll go down top to bottom of I love NFP day if I'm being honest. However, sometimes I go into it always expecting something great. Stay high. Someone told me to label my highs and lows specifically. So we'll label them. Wednesday's high. Here to stay high. These are the levels I'm looking at right now that are relatively important for me. If we get previous day's low, I'd expect quite lower. So I would label that after. And obviously ES has already taken out previous day's high. So important thing to keep in mind. I really like these equal highs. That's some strong displacement. Looks like we'll take out sell side and then go from there. Um, we'll just have to see how aggressive it is. But you can have obvious sell side right there with 15-minute gap right here. So going into market open, I think that's what's going to be taken, and then we'll just go from there. Don't mind me, just making my final annotations. Midnight open is over here, so I'll explain what I'm going to be looking for going into market open. What time is it? What time is it? 9:20. All right, I'll give you guys a breakdown in about 3 minutes. Do you ever take trades pre-market? Rarely. Sometimes, but rarely. If I'm going to be live streaming, then usually no. I'd rather be flat going into live stream. Sometimes on my own, I will execute a pre-market trade. Over here while I sign into all my accounts. Do you play piano or am I wrong? I used to a lot more. I wouldn't say like play, like I can't just play, but I used to like memorize some songs and they were honestly pretty nice. I could play some nice songs. So I don't know if that counts. Maybe something I'll get into later this year, but I'm working on a lot of things already. Okay. Just setting up all the accounts. So we have, okay, let's do a rundown. let's do a rundown of everything. So, first of all, it's non-farm payroll day. What do you expect on that day? Usually, you can anticipate more volatility, larger candles, meaning you'd probably want to be very cautious when calculating risk. So, that's important. I tend to follow a special protocol. I want to look for setups that offer high risk to reward, and I want to de-risk on my trades because non-farm payroll can be very volatile. It's very possible that we get something like you know the ones where you take a good trade, swoops you, then go. It's just really volatile, right? There's a lot of movement, tends to be. So what I like to do is find setups that offer me. I have to really make sure they're really risk optimal setups, and then I try to de-risk originally on the entry, and then I look to pyramid on because again, it's potential for a really large expansion, right? I've taken non-farm payroll trades will literally like come down here and then expand the entire day. So a lot of opportunity to pyramid. So that's the game plan in that. Now, let's talk about the higher time frame. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Initially, I was bullish. Now that I'm looking at this now, it's really hard to say because dollar index is very bullish. It's been trending for quite some time now, and it's trading above that inversion fair value gap or on the daily, which is bottom right corner. And Nasdaq is just so choppy. Like this daily chart is just slowly getting up. Nasdaq's weak compared to ES and YM. I'll show you guys YM. You can see YM's obviously stronger. YM looks like it's very textbook and gonna, take out buy side. If NQ looked like the others, being bullish would be a lot more easy. But what am I gonna do going into the day? Going into the day, I'm gonna assume this low to be protected. If we do take out this low, then I think previous day's low can be up for grabs, and then we'll have to go from there. So I wouldn't mind protraction shorts to previous day's low if it shows me that it's really bearish. As of right now, I need to see whether or not we take this low, or if we're gonna, well, quite literally, we'd have to pump right at 9:30. In which case, protraction to previous day's high. So right now, I'm more neutral. If I'm gonna be honest, on the day itself, higher time frame, it's quite hard to say because we got the SMT. ES has equal highs with previous day's high. I'm really confident that's going to be hit at some point, but we may pull down from that, leaving equal highs, and then later on, maybe next week or at the end of the month, or who knows how long it'll take, then run the buy side. Hopefully that covers most confusion. In terms of the economic calendar, we do have 10 a.m. news today. So given that I'm neutral going into open, and there's nothing really clear that I can see myself taking, we may get a CISD here and just pump, but I really don't think I would be taking that. So given that, there's no problem with waiting for 10 a.m. news. But also, I have no problem trading before 10 a.m. news. This price action right here honestly looks pretty good. So we'll see what 10 a.m. does. I'm leaning towards this low not being taken and being bullish. But the fact that we already had this nice sell-off makes me a little bit skeptical. So I have to see what market open does. We're going to stay more neutral. But if we get some strong displacement, I think previous day's high. So quick summary. If we want to wait till 10, we can. Previous day's low, previous day's high, both open on NASDAQ. Currently, SMT, previous day's high, and displacement lower. So it's a little bit unclear whether we continue or reverse. So we're going to have to be patient on that. And most important thing today is just to manage your risk and survive. It's Friday. You don't want to tilt. It wasn't the best trading week, but we're up. I don't mind risking profits, but it doesn't mean, you chase something. So importantly is, most importantly, we focus on managing risk. We focus on our trade checklist, make sure if we're taking something, it 100% aligns with the model and what it looks to capture, and we'll be fine. That's it. Tough week, but we survived. So let's see what happens here. So 5 minutes into market open. Yeah, we could sweep Asia or London and then reverse. It's possible. It's NFP. It's possible genuinely for a very large manipulation and then reverse. Like it can be very volatile, like I said. So I have all my accounts open: Alpha Futures, Top Step, Take Profit, and my live account. In terms of which ones I'll actually execute, we will see. It may change. pretty close to a payout on alpha futures, if I'm being honest. I'm trying not to think about it, but I do want to start off the year really strong. Like, how amazing would that be if we just get paid first, you know, 2 weeks? But again, I'm just reminding myself just to focus on the trade checklist, focus on just not losing. Don't worry about making money, right? It's not about making money. Just focus on not losing money. Focus on that. Everything else will come when it's time. So usually I don't care when I'm close for a payout, but this one, because I'm starting off January would be nice. Can't lie. So we got to make sure we stay very grounded. Yeah, dollar index looks really bullish, and I see a scenario where dollar runs these highs. Like, dollar index is trending higher, and it looks like we will take out that high. I don't see us finding support in this order block, given how far we traded past that inversion already. So if I'm looking just straight at dollar, dollar looks bullish. So kind of unfortunate. These pre-market lows were so clean. It would have been really nice if this happened at 9:30. That would have been great, but we'll just see. Your strategy on TPT, it's 1%. I'm open to trading, yeah. This is Nasdaq on the 1 minute chart. Yes. How was this week? Good. I managed my risk really well. It was a very tough week. The risk management saved me. There was a lot of trades I would have lost, but I cut them early before they did, and it honestly saved me this week. That's it. What's up, Cody? Yeah, it looks pretty bearish. Very tough. I don't blame you. It was a tough week, you know? Should I be aggressive with this eval? Which one? If you cut shorts, if you took a short somewhere here, that's yeah, great. I wouldn't trade if you market alpha zero. Yeah, I'd be aggressive. I mean, like risk like 1%. Can you see my message? Um, oh, my account got liquidated, went up 2,700. It probably was an account with live trailing drawdown like Apex. So you were up and then you got break even, therefore you lost. You think we'll reverse out the top of the 15? I wouldn't even try to predict it. I would just see. Org is gonna be oh, it's gonna be such a small org. But today could be quite choppy, guys. I'm gonna be honest. It's not it doesn't tend to happen often, but just putting it out there, I feel like morning session could be quite meh, and lunch might actually deliver. But we'll see. I'm open. Let's stay open and just try to read it nicely. 50 plus points, yeah, probably. I mean, this whole range right here is 125. So someone said Wednesday high of week. Possible. I would say Monday low of week is the priority focus. Like, I wouldn't. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we're gonna go all the way down to Monday's low, but I suppose it's possible. So what do you call it? It's a range PO3. You know, like Friday, like yeah, it's a range PO3. Um, if you want to talk about statistics, when Monday forms a low of week and it's an up close week, remember, I don't know if it's going to be up close because we could technically go all the way down to Monday, but assuming it's going to be an up close week, this is the weekly candle as of now. It looks like this. If it is going to be up close week, usually Thursday or Friday makes a high, not Wednesday. So unless you're expecting, I mean, I'm just talking about statistics here. Unless you're expecting Monday's low to be taken, which is possible. If we take out Monday's low, then this makes perfect sense. So if we start getting really bearish, this could get really strong. It's possible. It's very, very possible. I'm even considering a first presentation short here to previous day's low. because this would be first presentation, but same idea as yesterday. Because we just fully filled in org. That was org filled right there. Yo, I'm starting to consider if this flips the like if this just sells off the entire day and flips the weekly candle. ES is not really moving lower though. ES is going sideways, so NYM's going higher. Okay, we're gonna be patient. We're just gonna be patient. So ES is going sideways currently, and YM is going higher. So no synergy there. So even if I wanted to take a trade, it would be a rule break, hard rule break. And honestly, today I just want to focus on following the checklist and following my risk management. Whatever trade I do take today, will start with half risk and go from there all the way. I just gotta remind myself, I mean, that's a pretty hard rule break, like that's a big one. That's a big one. I really do not want to be entering when the indices are not aligned. At least one of them. Like if YM wants to do its own thing, but at least ES, this is like a triple lack and this is the same thing as yesterday. ES is sideways, YM's going up, Nasdaq's going down. There's no clarity for me on a prolonged price run, because when that happens, it's not that NQ can't go lower. It's that at any point in time, NQ could just say, "Okay, I'm done." Anyways, we took out London lows here. I would take a classic model long if we got a strong inversion right here and ES pulled higher. Then I would take that trade targeting the pre-market highs, and it would look something like this. I'd take it with just one gone, to be honest. Not on this account, but it would have to be a strong, not that. Like the fact that it already wicked makes me not want to take the trade, if I'm being honest. Why would you take it? It's a classic model. So we manipulated lower at 930. If we come back up, we flip opening range gap in the opposite direction. We've taken sell side, so I'm happy to look for buy side because I think it's possible for a range day. Also, it's really risk optimal. If you look at YM is really bullish right now. So if YM leads, ES and NQ seems to follow. We may not get the buy side, but I can probably at least manage my risk on that trade, right? Because even if we come like here, well, surely by then I can move my stop to at least the bottom of this inversion. So I'm already thinking meets all the checklist criteria. Clear drawn liquidity pre-market highs is always a great target. Even if we're bearish, you can always target pre-market highs. So it's a safe trade. I would need this candle, so immediate rebalance here. If this candle, which it's already done, trade idea is killed. But if this candle was hypothetically going to wick above this red line and then trade up, I would have taken it before the inversion on the immediate rebalance, but obviously that failed. It's going to likely form a protraction low, so we'll just have to see. Again, I'm not interested in any short right now because the indices are not aligned. So we'll just see. Previous day's low. If it's going to go lower, that's where I think. Really want to make sure if I'm taking something, it's crystal clear for me. You want to take trades that where if you lose, you're happy, Like you took the right position, the move just didn't happen. It is, well, it didn't actually form the protraction short, but it would have been. It wouldn't have been a strong one. This is not an inversion that I can front run because IRB failed. I'm a little bit skeptical on this. I feel like it would have done so at 934. The fact that 934 came and then this happened makes me a little bit skeptical. And that's why I would never front run that. Now, if this happened on this candle, I probably would be in the trade right now. The fact it took one candle going down and then the next candle Makes me a little bit skeptical. It closed pretty strong. It could deliver. It could deliver. We're just gonna watch this one. Could deliver. YM's really bullish. So low hanging fruit on a trade like this would, I would say, this high, this fair value gap. It's actually a suspension block. So see, I really enjoy annotating those. People will ask, what's a suspension block? Because of the whoops, because of the volume imbalance here and here on either side of this price range, and I'm marking out this one because it's right there at premium. That makes it a suspension block. So we'll see. Also, first presentation, possibly either this or this, doesn't matter. They're overlapped, so I'm just gonna mark out the blue one because it's crystal clear. It's also the fair value gap that led to sell side being taken. So could this expand higher? We got the CISD. It could. It very well could. Notice how the stop loss is 65 points if you use the low. That's why I say the candles can be larger on NFP. So you'd have to de-risk. I'd probably say stop loss here is fine, 55 points. Realistically, here is fine. So say you use a 50-point stop, you could get 2R off the CISD. That would have been your entry. That's a tape read for me. Wow, a lot of speed. Yeah, that's probably going. Nice, very nice delivery. No complaints. All right, take it. Just wasn't convinced enough at the time. Wasn't convinced enough at the time. No, not in the trade. It's a tape read. But in hindsight, very nice delivery. We'll see if we get a protraction before the buy side. I don't think so, but you never know. If I'm being honest, if today, as long as we don't take out this low, where's that? Where's that tool that I need? I would expect this to be low of day, low of session. If we're bullish, if we show that we're probably going to take this low, it could be really range bound today. It could be really range bound. This low right here. Okay, maybe a protraction model in here. The issue is it could form protraction. No, if it forms protraction long, it shouldn't form a protraction. It should hold. I would take a protraction long from here to here. It would look something like this probably. We can maybe get, yeah, that's not bad. We'll see if we get one. I would take it. I see this come to like 50% at least. It could be a nice retracement. Okay, we get a slight retracement. Now, if we get the order block, I can take a long position, stop loss at whichever swing low gets put on here. Yeah, it would be a decent protraction. Something it's worth taking, in my opinion. We could touch that breaker. I could take the deferred reversal, which means I just take the trade like this. Put my stop like here now. The rest reward's not good. I'd rather wait for the protraction. It would look something like that. We'd run a deviation on the protraction leg and see what we get. The breaker block is right here. feel like I'd want my fill. Guys, gotta lock in here. 40-point stop. Yeah, I feel like my fill at 50% here. I like that fill. Watching if it reaches CE there. Watching, watching, watching. If it's bearish, it shouldn't touch CE. If it's bullish, it should, and I'll enter it off CE touch. CE touch. Very important. Don't trade yet. We never got the closure above anyways. Obviously, everyone's gonna. Why am I using that for a protraction model? Because we never got the order block. Had we just closed the bullish, then it would have been a different story. 2 minute looks good. I would prefer us come back down and soup that low that we just put in. I would rather us. I'd want to see us soup this low now. Yeah, it would make it easier for me to trust the trade. Just tap into the 3 minute, and then I'll take a 3 minute protraction. I want to see this low get taken. Ideally, I mean, could I still take the trade no rule break? Yeah, I definitely could if it gets there. Actually, to keep going. ES takes out the low. What's equal lows? You make some calls, so let's go higher to my TP. You did a good trade, bro. Don't worry about hitting TP. Golden pocket rejections. If you're bearish, this would be a good place to look for shorts from. Yes, you're right. I'm personally bullish, but yeah, I don't like this protraction. I mean, on the 2 minute, it looks good. On the 2 minute, it looks solid. I could take it on the 2 minute. ES is not forming it though. I'm a little bit skeptical about this candle forming a higher high if it does. Yeah, I mean ES is making still lower lows. I think I'd want to see a soup. Yeah, we're gonna be a little bit patient. It's taking too long at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Now minute number 5. So if we get that next candle that goes up, I'm just gonna not take the trade. And if it goes, it goes. We miss it. What I would want to see for me to take a trade is if we can soup that low and then come back up, then I can trust whichever low forms here. Also, it's getting closer to 10 a.m. now, and we're starting to slow down. So I wonder if we just, it's a really nice setup. If I was in this trade, I'd probably just be sitting at break even, because if price is gonna come back all the way down here, it's just gonna form and it's bullish. It could just form a re-entry. Okay, break even. If it forms re-entry, enter stop loss here. Manage risk. Okay, there's the soup. We take that. So 3 minute fair value gap. These last couple of candles were not clean. Suppose the next candle immediately expands, trades to around here. Yeah, the risk reward just sucks now, if I'm being honest. 1.5. I mean, it's 1.5 for my first target, just to make that clear. So it's not really that bad. There's a lot we can aim for. Premium Sibi for bullish CE. Could also manage it by the time, like, even though it's only 1.5 R, it's still risk optimal because the distance from here to here will give me an opportunity to move my stop. Even if it's just to the body. YM is YM is shitting the bed. Interesting. I think we just want to be patient here. Probably wait till 10 a.m. guys, if I'm being honest. Wait till Wait till 10 a.m. We have two red folders coming out at 10 a.m. I think this could potentially be bearish, given that dollar is about to make a higher high on the day. That's pretty bullish. And YM just reversed, and YM was leading, so if YM flipped, kind of a red flag. So let's just wait. Let's just wait a bit. So I don't take my entries like that, big dog. Um, you will rarely see me like enter on the pullback, and then that's just not how I trade. I wait for the low to form that I think is going to be safe, and then move higher. The reason is, it's very possible that one, I'm wrong, and it pulls back and it just keeps going, right? I don't want to take that chance. Also, I don't want to take the chance of it pulling back and then resweeping and then going higher. So what do? I just wait for the retracement and then I wait for the confirmation that the protraction low formed. I'll take that with assumption that the low won't be taken if we're bullish. 8:30, 9:30, yeah. That's possible, Ronnie. That's not a bad idea. I mean, if we're gonna make a higher high here, I'd be surprised that we don't run previous day's high or thing. If YM is going higher here, I'll take a trade. Okay, YM is also pivoting higher after sell side. ES is gonna give a nice protraction here. Just take it on ES. I'm honestly thinking about taking it on ES, although it's only 1.6R to the buy side. Technically a little bit less. It's too sloppy in here now. We're not taking a trade here. I'm gonna wait because there's no way I can look at my checklist and say this is a strong setup with confluences. What confluences? Consolidation. Oh. So no fair value gaps. No. Yeah. Okay. I mean, just to be clear, that didn't meet criteria anyways, so it's not like I just saved myself. But okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a strong candle. You know, not much more to say than that. We may be very weak here. The fact that I'm seeing this right now, it's starting to make me question that dollar just keeps pumping above this high. And I'm assuming YM just gave the world's nicest protraction short, or okay, it might form here. Um, I like that I'm flat on the day so far. Feels good. Inverse first presentation. You could take a trade like this. Say you entered right now. Okay, say you entered right now, 2.6R. Um, you could. I'm gonna annotate this as first presentation. Even if it's not, this fair value gap covers for the most part. You know what we'll do? We'll just do this. Oh, yeah, this could be a short right here. It's gonna, if it's possible, it just touches and then speeds away. I'm not shorting because news is in 9 minutes, but I may short it if it, you know. I'm just gonna tape read it. I'm just gonna. I'm not even gonna put the PNL, so I'm just gonna watch it. It's possible. It's very possible that we see a lot of speed lower these next couple minutes. But in my opinion, it's also possible that we just stay a little bit range bound, similar to yesterday, if you remember yesterday. And I think I just want to be a little bit more patient. Um, for those wondering, this is a protraction model, but you just be entering deferred, right? Because technically that's your OB, this is your inversion. Instead of entering down here, you enter on the fair value gap as long as your stop covers. Again, I don't want to take it. What makes you decide whether you're bullish or bearish before trading? Going into today, I was actually more neutral. It wasn't too clear for me. But overall, I'm looking at the weekly and daily power of three, which, by the way, that's why this is so hard. Notice how I'm not talking about TGIF. Notice how I'm not talking about this Friday. Because look at the freaking weekly candle. I mean, it pretty much just went sideways. So there's no obvious weekly power of three. Therefore, it's hard for me to have a daily bias. That's my number one factor of determining bias, the weekly power of three. So it's a range PO3, meaning we just set the range high and low, and then we play inside the range. So it's very difficult to engage in that. Oh, this protraction would be so nice. It's just getting too close to news. I'm looking at a protraction like potentially this. That's so risk optimal and a good stop. If price closed below here, you could take a trade like this. That's really risk optimal. And honestly, if it happens on this candle, I'll take it. I would take it. It needs to be this candle. And I'll take it with one contract. Hopefully we can get it done before 10. Already not seeing speed. There's some speed there. It's a little bit close for alpha futures. Maybe a 952, 953 entry, which means I have 5 minutes to either close, break even, or maybe I'll take it just on top step. I'm gonna wait for closure. I'm gonna wait for it to actually form instead of front run it, meaning it has to close below. You guys, I'm not gonna mark it. It's the box and it's the order block here. If we were to inverse first presentation there, okay, here if we get immediate rebalance and then trade lower, I can also front run. And I won't take it on alpha, but I would take it on top step and TBT. So that's your immediate rebalance. Volume imbalance. If this candle starts to speed away lower and trades here, I'll just click sell before the order block forms. My model has not formed yet, just to make that clear. There's no closure below this candle's opening price. That would be my confirmation. And this candle kills the idea. So for me, now we wait for 10. Like now it's guaranteed. We have to wait till 10 and see what happens. Gotta use Davey watching my screen charter. I guess we have similar strategies. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe. Can we hold? Yep, we can hold Apex soon news. Shouldn't you wait for the tariff news in 8 minutes? Tariff news? I never heard about no tariff news. Regardless, I will be waiting for news. Yes. So I'm gonna be placed high of day. This wouldn't even be high of day, or this. It's actually. I think it would be this. No, is Asia? Where's Asia? It's possible we place high of day. I don't think so. I think both high and low is up for grabs. I mean, like it's neutral for me. What's the rules news for an alpha? Just 2 minutes before and after, no orders executed. I would use the yellow one, Sarvan, but just keep it simple. Just mark both. I feel like both is solid. You know, if they were trading my PA today or just to eval, I think it could be worth it. Obviously, if everything aligns and the checklist meets, I can confidently say there's been no setup where everything on the checklist meets. This long was pretty good. You could say that that met the checklist criteria. Yeah, I'd say that would. I say that did. I say that did. Given that ES also expanded, and the narrative was pretty clear after sweeping sell side. So there was one trade that I didn't take and did meet all my criteria. And like I said, I would have been break even here. So we would have definitely been hit break even. Stop here, entry here. That's your fair value gap. So again, if you're looking at the this looks just like yesterday. Like it's just gonna keep faking us. So we definitely want to be patient. Wait for a clear, very clear manipulation and a very clear objective and narrative that all align at the same time. If I'm looking at this right now, I would assume, yeah, both highs and lows can be taken. I'm looking at S&P 500 specifically. We have equal highs, we have equal lows. We're trading at 50% of the range. So I think both sides could be in play. I don't want to, take a trade when it's a little bit 50-50 now. So far, good patience. What's your opinion entering on a BPR? No, nothing wrong with that. 935 candle FEG. I would say 935. but you can make an argument for the blue one at 9:30. So just mark both. I think they're both relevant. You know, price has been declining off weekly bearish rejection block. Might close bearish for the week. Possible. If it was gonna close bearish for the week, like just let's put it out there. If the weekly candle was gonna flip, I feel like we wouldn't be seeing this price signature, unless we're really just waiting for 10 and then we dump all the way down to NWAG. It's possible, but I think if it was clearly bearish, this would not be happening. It would have came here and just started speeding away, and it would have just kept going because it's got a way to travel. There's no time to be wasting, you know, 9 candles inside 1 minute Sibi. Doesn't make sense. So if it was bearish, I feel like it already would have been running lower. This does not look. This looks very neutral to me. Is it worth to rewatch 2024? Have you seen 2023? If not, watch that. Was front running that 1 minute smart? Obviously, out. Well played out. Like nothing here really played out. Why do you choose to look at S&P and not Nasdaq? I'm looking at the Nasdaq here on my main, but I'm always looking at all of them. It's not just today. I always look at all of them. It's important. Yeah, I still watch ICT. Opinion on BPR? It's it's one of your strongest PD rays in terms of sensitivity that you would expect from it in the right narrative. If you want to watch more, I would recommend 2023. It's my personal favorite. I feel like I have to clear my throat, but like I don't feel it. Yeah, so happy to wait 10 a.m. here for sure. I tried funding next challenge rapid. My account was 450. I had 1,600 today. So where's my drawdown? Was it a 25K or a 50K? The court may release opinions and argue with the judges take the breach training. So sitting at 10 a.m. That's the tariff stuff. Okay, interesting. Maybe there's something very important at 10. It's a 50K. Your drawdown will be. So you can't hit minus 50 on the account. So pretty much zero. Like don't go to zero. You know. Why can't I trade with Alpha now? Because it's 2 minutes before news. So you have to wait 4 minutes. If you're trading an Alpha Futures funded account, you have to wait until 10:02 to take a trade. Eval is okay. Is that choppy? Could be waiting for 10. What I would want to see. No, the previous day's low being there makes it skeptical. I don't even know what I'd want to see. I'd want to see a clear manipulation, a clear narrative established, and a clear target. Luckily, there's a lot of clear targets. Previous day's high or low can be a very clear target, and obviously the buy side here could be a clear target. No, I'm not gonna hop off. I'll wait till 10:30. I have a lot of times where I can look for something clear. 10:30, 10:50, and I'll be busy at 12 with boot camp, but 11:30 is a key time for me too. If lunch can play, I have no problem trading with you in there. Worst case scenario, I have an alpha eval on Trader Bay already. Doesn't let you trade. You probably didn't accept the agreement. Gaty, will you trade with Trader Bay once project I can continue? I think they're gonna give a new platform, and I'm gonna use whatever that one is. I think it's either gonna be a platform that they built themselves, or it might be Volumetrica, which is not a bad platform. They actually just upgraded their dashboard and UI and stuff, so it's like just another platform that works. Also keep in mind, like I'm just executing, so I don't really care how it looks. All I have to do is see a buy button and a sell button, right? The other stuff doesn't really matter for me. No, they wouldn't make you pay. I mean, if you go separately, you might have to, but you think it's gonna be good? Yeah. I think it'll be better than Project X. So, or if they make their own, we'll see if they can do a good job. I mean, hopefully, if I choose Project X, will they let me choose a different platform when it closes? I think they're gonna automatically move all the accounts. It's not like you won't have to do anything. That would be very annoying. And that goes for every firm. They're gonna have to figure something out, right? Anyways, 10 a.m. news, not too important there. How long did you paper trade before you first funded? It took me about 1 month only because I passed, You know, like I basically gave myself a 50K eval on paper, traded it, I passed it first try, and then I went straight to evals. Like I was using Top Step at the time. What firm are we talking about? Any firm with Project X is going to be eliminating Project X. You know, in a little bit, couple weeks. So if you have a Project X account minus Top Step, then expect it to be removed to another platform. So again, my main goal for today was to manage risk. I'm happy that so far I've been able to do so. Let's stay patient. Let's make sure that if we're gonna take a trade, that it's gonna follow the checklist criteria. And, if we do take a trade, make sure that risk management is always the main goal. I think I'm leaning towards short because dollar does look bullish, and it would make sense that we don't need to run buy side before moving lower because of the civvy, and we already broke lower on the 15. So I'm like kind of leaning towards shorts, but it's really not clear. How many times have you been paid out? Many. Enough to not want to count anymore. How does the consistency rule goes on when my 50K funded flex loses? I don't know. The consistency rule is the same. It won't be Tradeovate. They'll make it a platform. I'm not even trying to flex. I'm just bro. What is this? Why do I have to keep clearing my throat? I don't like I don't like the straight to funded accounts. I think it's a bad business decision. Like, how you up to? Probably sleeping right now. Yeah, Nasdaq's choppy. ES is choppy. YM is a little bit clearer. Sell side expanded, buy side. But again, is it clear? YM looks like it's about to print a very nice long straight to the buy side. But again, I need intermarket analysis supporting my trade idea, and every single other asset is telling me that this is not going to play out. Dollars bullish, ES and NQ sideways. So again, it's a really big important part of my strategy. I have to make sure that the other markets align. Not everything needs to be perfect, but if one asset's giving me an inversion and the other one looks like it's shitting the bed and the other one's asleep and dollar's just going up, not good. You know. Hopefully, not to be that guy, but if you took a trade today, in my opinion, I really don't like people who say like, well, if you lost today, but let's be, fully transparent here. ES provided pretty much zero setups. YM was uncorrelated, and the only one setup that had some sort of correlation and clear displacement was the long here at either 935 or 936. In which case, it probably should have been a break-even trade, because if price was bullish and we just formed this fair value gap, your stop should be at the bottom there. It shouldn't invalidate this fair value gap if it's going to run the buy side. So if you entered here or if you entered here, either way, if you took that long, it should have been a break-even trade. You have the breaker, you have the fair value gap here, and a strong displacement. And if it was bullish, it would have found support in this gap. So, in my opinion, again, I'm not saying anything about your trading, but if you took a loss today, I think it's an important day to journal and reflect. I say that knowing I'm not joking, guys. You guys watched me trade 2 years ago. I probably would have already taken 2 trades, and possibly they would be both losers. Like, I probably could have easily went long here and didn't manage my risk, and then went short or long, and again just lost immediately. If you took anything here, you lost. So I'm leaning towards bearish because of dollar index. Again, I think I'd have to see a break, literally a breakout. Unfortunately, something like this. and I can trade that leg. Yeah, YM already broke. What's funny is YM is the most bullish one out of them all. Anyways, just be patient. I mean, nothing's difficult right now. It's not like we have to, oh, this setup, this setup. No, there's just no setup right now. We just stay patient, right? So it's no big deal. I'm just gonna set an alert here, and as long as Delta Index doesn't hit that, I'm just gonna assume it's bullish. That way I can keep YM opened here. Obviously, I can go with the. I just want to see those three. Get some expansion lower. There's not a real stop loss I can place here. So if I was to take a trade like this, according to my rules, my stop would have to cover that OB, and that's not really risk optimal. We can tape read. It's not the worst setup I've ever seen, but Oil Market says no rate cut at the end of the month. What's your opinion? Probably already factored into price. Again, I don't really care what the news is. You can. So this guy said, mentor me. You can scam me or whatever you want. Are you talking to me? You're talking about the guy that you told to not go long or something. I don't know what this guy's saying. Yeah, I don't understand. My risk tolerance is being respected, so no trade for me. Volatility bringing way too much risk point wise. You're right. The candles are larger, so you definitely have to be D size. Bearish for the day. Go shorts, gang. Forgot to press send 5 minutes ago, but I'm in these YM and ES at TP. Good luck, brother. No offense. Uh, respectfully, I could care less about any signal. So, might as well keep it to yourself. Can you seem like your brother? Nah. How do you calculate position size? On futures, pretty easy. Just the amount I want to risk, divide that by 2, and then divide that by your stop loss in points. It would be the order block that formed here. I'd view that as an order block. So it'll just be a protraction. Which is why I don't even want to take the trade, because um MT, and then because the stop loss has to cover the OB. Unless I took it here, but I feel like I would have needed to seen it really go. Again, it's just a tape read for me. It's only 1.5 R too, so. Where do you have your NDOGs and NWOG? I only use the NWOG that I think are relevant. I only have this one labeled, which is current NWOG. If I see one that I think is relevant, I'll do it. Whatever, bro. Just short. You lost the move. Why are you so pressed, bro? You overanalyze? I disagree. If I want to probably message you, message me on Discord. That would be best. New York AM low has already been taken, my brother. That was right here. Potential protraction model in here. Do you guys remember what I wanted to see? I would take that protraction because I feel like the draw is pretty clear. My NWOG, 430 on the micro. I would take a protraction here. I wouldn't take it of this, but if we got a nice retracement. Dollars, can you be above the profit target? I think it's like 20. I think 20 or 30. Don't go more than 50, but I think it's like 20. That could have been a sell side sweep to go higher, but with previous day's low right here, dollar index being bullish, and all the other indices also moving lower, I think this can continue lower. Also, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, sell side is still open on ES. We did take out that low, but we still have this low. So I think we can still see a lower low. That's a 2-minute gap. I would love it if we formed this suspension block. I would love that. I like that tap. If we can form this candle just stay just like that. Inverse, I can short that. That's pretty, not the most risk optimal if I'm being honest. Yeah, that's not the most risk optimal setup. Because I would have to be right about previous day's low. But again, it could go lower than previous day's low. That's just my easy target. And log. That could be crazy. The breakout play, I guess it's possible. If we get 1 or 2 candles here inversing this, I would most likely take that trade. Depends how it forms. We'll see. It'd have to be real sensitive right here. Otherwise, it may just be bullish or choppy. It's not showing any sensitivity right now. These pretty first 5 hour. Nice, good luck, bro. Do you think this might be a power 3? It's always a power 3. And do I still think it's gonna be a 10 a.m. reversal? Yeah, it's possible. 10 a.m. reversal. Um, unfortunately, my model wouldn't even form here. 30-second. Yeah, it's on the 30-second actually. So yeah, it looks like it's just gonna go higher. Which again, how high? I don't know. How high before it goes sideways? I don't know. We'll just have to see. Stuff in the AM low. Left equal lows and previous day's low still open. It's not easy for me to take a trade here. I don't know what specifically to look for. You got to build a system, yeah. My main one, Alpha Futures is my favorite one, just because the payouts are easiest. How'd you build your model? Watch all the ICT lectures multiple times, and then I backtested around. I'm at like 8 to 9,000 days now. We're approaching that 10K. You trade what the market gives you. I mean, that's a given, right? You have no other choice but to trade what the market puts in front of you. But what do you need to see before you take a trade? That's what matters. What's the exact criteria for you to click the buy button? What is that? Yeah, I am recording the classes. Um, I did record yesterday's, but yesterday's wasn't so important. I don't want to post the ones that are not like, what's it called? Like, if there's an actual class, you know. Um, today will be recorded. Today's an important review. Press buy based on the vibes. The vibes are not great today, man. You taking a long out of the fair value gap? It wouldn't be a long out of the fair value gap. It would have to be a protraction model out of the fair value gap. So something like this. That would be like, no, it wouldn't be A plus. No. The reason is I don't have a clear narrative. I don't know if it's gonna chop or if it's gonna go higher. Like I feel like it's 50-50. So, it's going pretty bullish right now, but it was just going very bear. Like it's just literally exactly like yesterday, guys. Textbook rinse and repeat from yesterday. Looks like it's gonna give you a whole lot of something and then a whole lot of nothing. How do you know? I will say, if we close above this, this is probably the most definitive expansion after sweeping AM low and going aggressively forming the breaker. Um, so you could argue like that is probably the best setup that formed. If we got a protraction from here, I would take that. I'm gonna just quickly check the dollar because is it potentially moving lower? Thing is, dollar is gonna run this buy side. Like I'm pretty confident in that. So, I really don't like anything I see here. We may have to wait till 10:30. Yeah, Wednesday's high is possible. I mean, that's what I was looking for initially, but it just looks like a whole lot of nothing, guys. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Could it deliver? Sure. Is it anything easy, obvious that I feel like I need to catch? No. Nothing here was easy or obvious, in my opinion. Yep, definitely a high resistance condition. I think we just wait. One of the first things I said on live stream today was part of me believes that the morning session will be choppy and then lunch will deliver. I think that is possible. Generally speaking, lunch has been delivering pretty good. Did I catch the longs? No. Lunch has been doing really good recently. Where can I learn my protraction model? YouTube would be the easiest place to go to. Yeah, I mean, if there was like, let's just say hypothetically, we got a bearish fair value gap trading into here, tap the org perfectly and immediately sensitive and expand inversion fair value gap. Like that's a really good setup after we get the breaker and the CISD. So would I take that? Sure, but I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. Like let's be honest here. This is just a patience tester. How many setups form that can you know, find a reason to not take? That's what you want to do. You look for reasons to not take a trade. And eventually a trade will come and you're like, you know what? There's no reason I shouldn't take this trade. It's really that simple. I don't view it as resistance, but you're right. We can't seem to get past that Sippy. 10 a.m. is a 6 a.m. Yeah, literally. 10 a.m. been moving like 6 a.m. You like that mindset? Yeah, that's the mindset you gotta have. Do not look to take a trade. Look to not take a trade, and eventually something will come where there is no reason to not take the trade. Everything looks good, you know, and then you push the button. And if you lose, you're completely happy and you can accept it easily. This is NASDAQ. Yes, I read your ebook. It's really high quality. Good job, man. I'm at the half point. Thank you, brother. Stop just below the gap. Would you take that trade that comes up back to 190? So okay. First things first. I would not want to see 50% of the fair value gap. If you're bullish, I'm assuming you trade ICT, so if so, just take my word for it. Unless you want to go back and find it yourself. If you're bullish, you do not want to see 50% of any discount PD rate be reached. I wouldn't buy the fair value gap, but what I would do is if it did this. That's just how I trade, and that's my model. I wait for that swing low to form and leave. Once that swing low forms and leave, like for example, it could be this. This is a little bit too shallow for me. I'd rather see it, trade back into here and expand quickly, cleanly, all that stuff. That's how I trade. That's what a protraction model is. I wait for that protraction low. You get me? I would look for a previous day's high today, and if it's gonna go above that, there's nothing between. If it's going above previous day's high, I'm holding a runner to Wednesday high and nothing in between. Like if it's gonna trade up here, I'd assume it just goes straight up, and it's enough distance for me to actually think the runner's worth it. Say you have 4 contracts, 3 off here, and you have a one runner running for potentially 300 points. It's worth it. So I'm funded with alpha. What is this 40% consistency? It keeps going up. It's because you keep making more money on your best day. First of all, you're really close. So if you can reach 40%, that's payout, by the way. So congratulations. But it's the same as a retest. Well, you simply put, not all protractions, but for example, off the fair value gap, you wait for the retest. Correct. But you don't buy the retest. I wait for the break above after, and then I get my stop here. Rather than just buying the fair value gap with a stop here, I'd wait for the low to get put in, go above, and that's when I'd expect it to continue quickly. You know when you see the annotation like speed above this high, that's what I'm looking for with my protraction model. Exactly. I'm just waiting for that low to form. Essentially, my entire model, guys, is just I'm waiting for protected lows to form when I'm bullish and I buy. That's just how I like to do it. The main reason I do it that way is because one, I was tired of taking trades where I leave a limit order at a fair value gap and it just runs through and stops me. That was frustrating. Two, um, sometimes I would leave an order resting at a fair value gap and you miss out on information. Like, what if we just go boom, straight down, like super strong? That's not what you want to see. That's like you miss out on the information from that. You get what I'm saying? So that's two. Three, what was I gonna say? The stop loss placement also becomes a little bit difficult because technically it can wick the gap. So like, obviously, okay, there are times I'll buy a fair value gap, but you'll notice I'll only do that still after once we form the protected low. So let's say there was a fair value gap here. So I could buy that fair value gap, but then put my stop loss here because that's that low that I was talking about, right? If you want to learn that, my Gems PO3 playlist, 6 episode playlist on YouTube is what covers my models. If you want, and that's something you're interested in, you can go ahead and do that. Looks like this one is delivering. Again, there wasn't really an entry for me anyway, so I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. Only annotation I'll make is say that there's 30 seconds CIC here. It delivers. You know, wasn't the easiest thing to catch. Definitely didn't miss really anything, but it delivers. And I'll start making some annotations here. BPR resting right at London lows. Resweep the London low, AM low right here. It looks like we had such a bad price action, but now looking at this in hindsight, um, just a choppy first 30 minutes. Then we sweep sell side and go higher. The reason it's hard to catch is because I wasn't really like clearly bullish. But like, what if I told you only look for longs today, take every long setup? Well, then it's easy. But it just was hard to be bullish at this time, especially with previous days low there. I don't really expect us to come back. I need to make this. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna come back down. I guess we'll see. I think previous day's high is a target. I take a protraction anywhere in here, and then Wednesday's high could be a target if we're gonna keep expanding. Otherwise, it's range bound. I feel like bullish was yeah, yes, it's close to all-time highs. You're right. It's definitely there. It's getting close to Wednesday's high as well. Um, tough to trust when dollar's just going higher, but at least the other indices are also pulling higher. For example, you could buy this fair value gap with a stop loss here. You know, would I take this? No. I'd rather wait for a stronger retracement that's a little bit more clear. Like for example, if 1030 opened and we got like this, I would love that. I don't think that's gonna happen though. This could stay heavy. BPR was a limit order. You wouldn't want to limit order a BPR because you do not want to see price come back to a BPR. Think about it. It's a balanced price range. You know, we really should not be returning to it. Um, it's all balanced out. So recognize time distortion. Use the economic calendar. That's gonna be the easiest thing. And then just look at the wicks. Look at the wicks. There was a telltale sign right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we were low resistance, this wouldn't be happening. Did you see a sudden drop? Don't chase the move. Like it got pretty obvious here. Also, knowing there's 10 a.m. news, like if you look at price action after 10 a.m. news, was it really that bad? I'm going to put a line right here. This is 10 a.m. news. It really wasn't that bad. We opened, put a high, swept sell side, reversed. No, post 10 a.m. news, price action is pretty good. Right? So the economic calendar is very telling. Yeah, someone in chat said it like they think it was going to be they called it pretty early. Just a nice 10 a.m. power 3 long. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I wasn't bullish at the time. That's the only reason I didn't take it. After a kilo, we'll see what time frame should I wait for confirmation. Depends what type of move you're looking to capture, my brother. If you have problems with FEGs being ran through, yeah, like you obviously could just be wrong. So to just leave an order pending and see what happens, I feel like it's a little bit iffy for me. It's just not my style. I'd rather, take it on the expansion above from the fair value gap. Well, previous high is delivering. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, like I wouldn't have taken the 30-second CISD. I mean, maybe. It definitely stings a little bit, but I can't really be mad. I wasn't even bullish at the time. Like, I was not expecting that. In fact, I was looking for a protraction short, wasn't I? Yeah, I was. I was thinking maybe we go to previous day's low. No, no trades yet. Can you enter on CIC? Yeah, of course. Most of my entries will be... I guess it's pretty 50-50. It could be an order block or an inversion. I prefer the inversion because usually it means price action is cleaner, but my favorite entry would probably be when we get an immediate rebalance right into an order block. No, I haven't taken any trades yet. Yeah, we're gonna have to look for a protraction here, 10:30 or 10:50 now. That's our last play for today. Well, two more ideas. No, I'm making sounds with this bottle cap. Sorry. Previous day's highs delivered. If you caught the long, well done. Unfortunately, no protractions offered along the way. This one is not valid. So, YN did give a nice protraction, I suppose. 10:20. Anyways, Wednesday's high is a potential target for me. We'll see if we get there. I think we will. It's going to be tough to find a high probability trade, but we'll see. You take a trade? No. Not yet. At least. Why not take the model at 10.19? That wouldn't be a valid protraction. It needs to be from a level. If this low came into this fair value gap, then I would have taken it. That's what I was looking for. But it just put a down close candle and traded higher. So that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking specifically for a trade into a swing low or a fair value gap. Yeah, right. A lot of people were calling the session early, but again, you just have to be patient. There's nothing wrong with 30 minutes of chop. This is how fast moves can unfold. So there's always opportunity. You just gotta be patient. And if there isn't, then it's fine. So we're gonna be forming a 15. It's gonna take some time, but we are forming a 15. This low should be safe. This low should be safe. So if I can find any protraction from this low to my target in discount, getting to complex stuff here now. Any protraction somewhere here. You know what? I'm wondering if I just take like something like that. It's kind of crazy. I'd have to wait for a protraction. It does like a deferred 5 minute. No. Realistically, this low should be safe too. So we're gonna have to wait. It is 10:30. No, I didn't take that long. And why are you gonna be mad? Like, what are you trying to say? Some random stuff here. I wasn't bullish at the time. That's all it was. I wasn't sure if we were gonna go to previous day's low or reverse and go to previous day's high. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Myself taking trades on the second time frame should be getting me sniper trades or messes my mental. It's not worth the mental, bro. Clear entry on that long. Yeah, I mean, I would have had to drop down to the 30-second chart, so which is fine, but there was no clear entry for me. Some people, I'm sure there was. Maybe they entered here or here, either or. Um, Thing is, if they entered here, not the most risk optimal, but there would be opportunity, so it's fine. No trades for me yet. Yeah, I think S&P all-time high today. Big dog NFP gonna get the job done. The question is Nvidia also pumping? At least it's in the green. I'm in a long at 25,800 with 5 minis targeting 2,600. Good luck, but we should all start treating Gaia like Los Polos treats. Wait, Los Polos treats. Isn't that from Breaking Bad? You talking about the chicken place? Anyone experiencing problems on TradingView charts and annotations not loading? Probably not. It's probably just you. Now we're bearish for value gap. It's not a bearish for value gap. It's a city. Market really faint. And you're gonna see how these levels will most likely be active used as support. That was a beautiful NB setup, but I was way too skeptical after yesterday. Recency bias definitely played a role, right? Everyone was getting flashbacks from yesterday. Yesterday was a no trade day, right? So meaning like it's just I would never trade that. Every trade today was against my RR rules. Yep, I'm your journalist. Perfect, brother. The difference between a SIBI and an FED. The reason I corrected you is because I didn't want you to think that bearish for value gap means lower. It doesn't necessarily mean that, right? It's a SIBI. I would personally expect it eventually to flip and be used for higher prices. Not yet. What I'd really want to see right now is something like this. That would be A plus. I always mark it like that, but it never forms like that. But if I could get something like this, that would just be a perfect setup for me. Perfect. I don't think that's a little too nice. I don't think they'll make it that easy on me. Come to Woodbridge, New Jersey, and you'll become a campfire story. It's been a year now. First started with paper trading and locked in for 6 months and started by evals. Nice, bro. How does YM correlate the SNQ? They should be correlated, all of them. In a straight up, like, what kind of kill would you want to hit before longs again? Good question. I want to wait. I think the best thing for me to do is wait for the 15 minutes to form and wait for the 10 minutes to form. Um, that would also give me ample time to take a trade in the 1050 macro. Obviously, I risk missing a potential continuation, but I'm not worried about missing a move. Right, my goal. Okay, DXY actually just broke lower, so yeah, we may be able to just keep going higher. I got the alert there. DXY potentially making a lower low. That it's so relevant, but at least there's some expansion happening. Was the 5-minute IPD short 945 good? I took it and lost. That's not bad, but if you took the trade, your stop loss is here, you shorted, and then you saw price do this. I'm hoping at least at some point, maybe you didn't break even, but at least a de-risk loss. Like it's not the worst. It's not the worst trade, but I mean we took sell side London lows, so hopefully you found some way to manage your risk, or did you take a full size loss? It's a good trade. It's not a bad trade, but your stop was too tight then for sure. If you're taking the 5-minute inversion, don't tell me was your stop the inversion high, like the box high? That's for sure too tight. It's got to be at the either swing high here or the candle that inverse tie right here. Yeah, it was definitely just too tight. If you lost before it took out the lows, there you go. Easy fix. I think I'll just keep trading and making my edge better on this Drawdown Guardians account. And in February, I'll buy a Lucid account. What do you think? It's not a bad plan. I would say, yeah, just keep focusing on the account you have now. I get asked that question so much. Like, oh, I have this account. Should I just stop it and work on another one? Bro, forget the account. Let's be real. Let's be real for a second. Most people who ask me that question have like rarely passed an account and even gotten one payout. Why are you worried about what firm, what account? Like it's gonna. No offense, and I'm not saying you, Myth. I'm just saying in general because I get this question all the time. It's not gonna make a difference. You need to just be trading and practicing to improve so that it can make a difference one day. Literally, just take the cheapest account, nothing that's too difficult, you know, and just practice trading, man. Just show up to improve every day. Just show up to improve. You have to, at some point in your journey, you're going to have to say, you know what? I'm not good enough to get a fund. I'm not good enough to get funded. Or I'm not good enough to get a payout yet. But I can take this account and trade it to try to improve so I can be good enough. Nobody ever says that. Everyone says, I'm going to get an account, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get a payout. I'm going to pass it, I'm going to get... Okay. How do you even know you have the skills required to get a payout or pass? I think like 97% of accounts get blown. You think you have the skills of 3% of people who can pass an account? Because if not, then you got to focus on him and developing those skills. That's the most important thing. And that's not a bad thing. You just have to drop the ego. Stop assuming that you... Again, I'm not talking to you guys specifically, so don't take it personally, but at some point you're going to have to drop the ego and say, I'm not good enough yet, you know? I'm trying to pass, but it's like trying to dunk before you work on your vertical. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're going to keep showing up, I'm going to dunk. Oh, this time I'm going to dunk. This time I'm going to dunk for sure this time. And yet you just have not been trying to improve your jumping. Doesn't make sense, right? So at some point the ego's got to go, and you just have to say, I'm not going to pass. I'm going to buy this account, and I know I'm not going to pass, you know? I'm going to probably lose the money I spent on this account, but I will improve. You know? Going with that mindset. See how much better your trading will be when you buy an account expecting to lose it. I'm going to buy this account and I'm going to lose it. I'm not going to pass. And for some of you, that's hard to accept because you don't want to lose money. And I get it. But you're going to lose even more money if you can fail to do that. For that 945 short, ideally the swing high. But if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, it needs to be at the candle that formed the inversion. Meaning you wouldn't want to see the overlap. So you can put the stop here at 945 high, or the swing high that formed before the inversion, which is right here, 935. Do not put it at the top of the box. That's in a very specific scenario. Can you only do that? You have to expect very clean, low resistance price action. You would not see this in that scenario. I've taken 0 trades today so far. Before I passed my first account, I have lost like 8, and I was keep going. I knew my reach 20 before I passed my first. Most people blow a lot of accounts. Forget most people. I genuinely think every single person has blown many accounts trying to pass before they finally pass one. Skip that process. Show up trying to fail. Like, obviously don't blow the account on purpose, but have the assumption you're not going to pass. Anyways, 10-minute fair value gap has formed. I could look for a protraction from here. I'm just going to say that it's Friday, and I've been thus patient thus far. I'm going to wait for 1050 macro. So I'll wait for the 15-minute fair value gap. This is a very key time in trading. Listen, for those of you who trade this far into the session, please listen to this. This is important. You will probably find this being you. There's a very interesting situation here, and it happens every single 15 minutes, or every 45 minutes, I guess you can say. Listen to this. This will help you, okay? Right now, we have a 10-minute gap, okay? It's 10 minutes away from the macro. It's possible that price will trade into this 10-minute gap, offer a protraction, and continue. Let's just assume we're bullish, Okay. It's also possible that it's going to do nothing until 10:45. Why 10:45? Because that's when the 15-minute gap forms. What's relevant about that? Now you're in the setup where macro can deliver. This is like textbook 1050 macro stuff. So we are in a 10-minute gap right now. We could, for example, get an inversion right here and price go higher. We could also distort, meaning it may do it or may not, until that 15-minute forms, and then 1050 macro you see your leg. So what do? You can take the first trade, accept that it may lose and the move may happen in the macro, or you can wait for the macro, but then obviously you risk missing the move at all. Today I'd be very happy if I take a trade and I miss the move. So I'm gonna wait for the macro. Obviously, I could just be wrong. We saw previously high in reverse. It's also possible, but I'm not interested in any shorts at this point in time. So if it wants to reverse lower, that's fine. I'll call it a session and I'll come back tomorrow. Hopefully that sauce was important. I'm on my first eval so far. It's going good. I was up 3K, but I didn't meet the consistency and I became emotional and overtraded. I lost 2K. I will not take another trade that doesn't meet my rules. Showing up here every day will help you with that. Gatie, correct me if I'm wrong, but we also rejected from CE of the previous day candle. Previous day equilibrium. Yeah, you're not wrong. If that's a level you want to look at, you can for sure use that. You can for sure use that. Do we have a weekly objective / target? Wednesday high. If it's gonna be a buy week, otherwise it's gonna be a range week. In which case, this is what you're seeing right now. You know, back to this low probably. Back tomorrow, not yet for me. Folks have even passed and still lost multiple times. Yeah, everyone has. I've done that. It's pretty normal. That's a whole other scenario that I haven't even talked about, right? Okay, say you do finally pass. Okay, what makes you think that you're a part of like what 0.1% or something? I don't know what the percentages are that can get a payout. Maybe it's like what makes you think you're a part of that percentage? Ask yourself. You really think you are a part of that percentage? If not, it's fine. You don't have to think of it as a bad thing. It just means obviously your goal needs to be to improve. You still have some improvement to do, you know? But don't buy an account saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get a payout." What makes you think you're even good enough? Not to say you guys suck and stuff. Again, I'm not talking to you guys specifically, but I'm just saying at some point in time, whether it happened already or it's happening now, the ego is gonna have to be dropped. At some point in time, it's gonna have to be dropped. We filled in the 10-minute pretty much completely. 15-minute is gonna form now. I'll show you guys what that looks like. So see how we waited for that. Now, luckily, it was easy for me to wait because we never got my model long. So the model just protected us today, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it will fake you out. I'm not gonna mark it. Okay, we'll mark it. This is your 15-minute gap. It's gonna form right now in 5 seconds. I'm not 100% confident it's gonna hold, but I do think that if we get a protraction from it, then yeah, I'm really not gonna mark it. It doesn't make sense. It just looks weird. Doesn't look clean. I don't want to mark it. I'll just keep this annotated. We may not get a protraction, but if we do, I'll be there to take the trade. Pretty strong break lower, but it was one-sided, so I do think the question is, what do I have to see to go long? The 3-minute looks pretty clean. 3-minute looks pretty clean. I say if we can flip that 3-minute, we could let a trade like this run for lunch. Possible. So closure above this. Could also be a market structure shift. So we'll see. We'd have to respect this. Yes, propulsion blocks would just be a protraction model that forms after a protraction model. 938 premium week CE. Don't want to see closer below that. Valid. Yeah, there's a lot of overlapping PD rays here. How many trades you lost today? Why is that the first question? First of all, I haven't taken any trades today. Second of all, it's kind of an aggressive question, man. I don't know if I like that. How many trades you lose, bro? How many trades I lose? Start with trades taken. All right. Let's go from there. What days tend to be your best? I actually really like Monday. I don't know why. Honestly, all this time, I don't know why. I think what it is Monday tends to be a range day, and that's where you just see the like the cleanest sell side to buy side runs. Other than that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday usually unfolds the weekly power of three for me. So generally speaking, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just easiest in terms of daily buys. Wonder how can we be sure we are on a range. Also depends on the weekly candle. Like sometimes Friday's so nice with when there's a nice TGIF play. Wonder how can we be sure we are on a range day. Um, when and how could one sec. Let me focus up here because I might take a trade. You'd look at characteristics like the daily chart. That's where you're gonna be for sure. Ask yourself that if we take highs, do we show strength, or do we always fail back into the range? It's like it's a lot gonna come with just experience and reading the candles. Um, Today wasn't necessarily a range. I think I would need the 3 minute. Then I have to wait a full 3 minute candle. Let's see here. What's the risk on this? I mean, yo, for a one micro trade that I can pyramid into, it may be worth it. Now I would take two on this account, but I can risk 70 bucks very comfortably. If I find sensitivity here, I'll take the trade. Looking for sensitivity. That's an immediate rebalance. If this candle flips, trades up here, I'm not gonna put a buy stop because it's too many accounts to put a buy stop on. But if this candle makes a new high and leaves that fair value gap, those two red lines, I'll push buy. One of my favorite entries. So if it could just form, that'd be great. Um, just to be clear, I'm not in yet. I don't want to all the way take that away. I'm looking at this. I mean, it doesn't form. That'll just be an example of the model protecting us. I would have been really comfortable and confident in that trade if it formed. It looks like we may be wrong in the idea. I mean, the 50-minute gap here is pretty clean. I really like that. Um, Say hypothetically, we get this. I would take. It's a hard take, to be honest, but I would still take it. I'll start to trade with one contract and I'll work my way up. I want to see the low get swept. Otherwise, you short this, and the thing is, there's no target for me short, so I'm not gonna be taking any shorts. The only target short would be this low discount. Um, I still believe we can get above from the 15. We'll just see. We'll see. I'd want to see this low get taken ideally, but it may not. Just have to see what happens. Yeah, I mean, now I'd have to short into the Cibi, which I don't really want to do. I don't really want to do that. Because now it's looking a little bit more 50-50. Overall, I am still pretty bullish. 15-minute gap, that'd be some pretty good displacement for the 15-minute candle. 1050 macro, which is obviously a good time, but I'm a little bit 50-50. I do think it is more likely to move higher though, because I don't think this low is being taken, and we've already returned to the discount busy. We're above previous day's high on ES. Wednesday's high is there. A lot of buy side built on ES. We can always take it on the 3-minute inversion. I guess we just have to wait for that. Like if I'm being honest, yeah, the 3-minute doesn't look the best on this time frame, but like the other ones, the higher time frame ones, like the 5-minute looks somewhat fine. We could take it on the 5. Should we just take this on the 5 and watch it on the 5? That's almost 2R alone, and that's 5R if we get there. What did DXY just do? Did it break lower? Yeah, DXY just broke lower again. I'll see where the 5-minute goes. That's one deviation. Oh, that's so nice. That's just beautiful. That's exactly what I'd want to see. If we get a nice closure here, I will try. I think it's worth the risk. Even if I take it with 1 micro, $80 to make 400. I don't even need 400 for my payout. I just need 50. And that's assuming no pyramids, but we'll leave this here. Yeah, I'll most likely take this, assuming this candle can continue somewhat somewhat like this. I'm just gonna put a line right here. Whoops. And if we get a strong closure here, also I have to keep in mind I wouldn't enter the 5-minute like that. I'd enter something like this. $46 times $200. So like $90 or like $100 $10 risk. Okay, if next candle right here expands higher, I'll buy it. I'll even put the buy stop at 8110. And we'll go de-risk and try to pyramid. It needs to be this candle from this fair value gap, and that's it. If this doesn't form, that'll be it for me today, and I'll probably trade lunch. It needs to respect this gap. I suppose it could sweep the low, form a breaker. It's also not bad. I'd rather not see that though. This candle doesn't shoot up, I'm gonna cancel the order. Perfect. Yeah, just because it really could be bearish if I'm being honest. So I'm gonna cancel the order. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes and see if it wants to sweep and break, give a breaker. I would take that as well. Same idea. I'll just take it on a buy stop here. Reform 10-minute. Yeah. If you're bearish, this is actually a pretty good short. If I'm being honest, it's just I don't have a target. PM session today. Probably not today. I don't think I'm gonna trade PM session today. If I'm being honest, I think lunch will be pretty nice. Like I think 11:30 will give me something nice, but I have stuff I need to do. Even short since the 1-minute OBF to previous day's high. Nice. That's not bad. It's not bad. Previous day's low is possible. To get previous day's high and previous day's low on the same Friday is pretty rare, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. Could be a breaker mitigations possible as well. That long was really nice. If you were bullish at the time, I think it's nice. Just sweep. Still pretty 50-50, but we've done a great job managing risk so far. Way here. Bless you. Thank you, bro. If I entered long at 10:40 on the 1 minute IPD up to 5 minute gap at 15, what do you think? This 10:47. It's not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, I was looking for that setup too. The issue about the long now is it took a really long time to form. I like that it's 10:50 macro. I suppose if we're gonna make a higher high on the 5 minute, probably not bearish. If it really does break, maybe a breakaway gap here actually, if it forms. Potential. If next candle opens, trades higher immediately. All right, 37-point stop. I think this is a breakaway gap. If it's bullish, it shouldn't come back here. It's done enough work inside this, which it doesn't need to come back here. If it's bullish. If it does come back here, it's probably not going to go higher. Unless it's like very sensitive. Trades up and goes. In which case I would take the trade. If it does this and immediately goes, I'll take that as a front run protraction. Just wait and see. Stay patient. We've been patient all day. There wasn't really anything we missed that I could have caught. To explain order blocks, I probably cannot sit here and explain order blocks to you. I'd watch my video. 10 minute Sibi is forming. I feel like it would inverse. It definitely could just offer a protraction short though. That's tough. It's 50-50. You know, I really shouldn't take a trade if it's 50-50. You might be the most pusk. Doing a trade won't kill you, gang. Yeah, honestly, bro, I'm gonna just block you because you're obviously pretty slow. You're obviously pretty slow. Appreciate your comment. I don't know. This is a dumbass comment, bro. Let's be honest. Just enter the trade. It won't kill you. What? What? Why? First of all, why do you want me to enter a trade so bad? Why does it even affect you? Are you like? I'm assuming he's just copy trading and he's mad that I didn't take a trade today. Um. Yeah, it won't kill me, but it could hurt my capital. Yeah, and my mental. I'm still 50-50. Just because this went up, I'm not necessarily convinced that it's gonna go up. I'm just being straight up with you guys. Like I generally don't see it clearly. I'm just being real. I don't see it clearly. If anything, I think it's actually gonna go lower, and I think it's gonna inverse. The thing is, I don't have any targets lower. The thing is, I could target this now because the risk reward is pretty good. So I guess we'll just see. I like that 10-minute Sibby. Here stays high. Play the range. Where's 10 a.m. low? Oh, that's too far down. Otherwise, I guess it is bullish, and there wasn't really a setup in here anyways for longs. So, right, there wasn't really a setup anyways. We'll see how we trade in this, and we'll see how we trade in this. Hmm. It's about 5 moves. Yeah, nice. Oops. Cristiano baller than Batman. This is underwear pattern. Underwear pattern. What does that even mean? I have 400 left for CPI, but yesterday got destroyed. Got 40 left now. You think it's enough for CPI? Yeah, it should be fine, bro. Should be fine. This is under. This one 1034. I've earned this win. Where are you, long or short? 1034. What's 1034? Oh, 1034 high. I believe in you, Bio. Oh, did you leave the stop here and you entered 1047, didn't you, Bio? For news days, the day before NFP and FOMC morning. Yeah, you long 1047 and you held through. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you. Yo, we called out this breakaway though. I mean, I said if it was bullish, it wasn't clear for me. You gotta please remember you. All right, bro. I'll remember you. I guess it's just gonna go. It didn't give me the setup. It didn't really give me a setup. It kind of just went. I mean, you could take a really long protraction here on the 5, like this. That's 2R. But you can't really manage risk because it's going to go here and then there's not much you can do. If it gives me a protraction before taking out the high, I can take that trade. That would be like the best case scenario right now. If it gives me something in here, I can take it before it goes here. No trades for me yet. Buy switch every minute. Yeah, it wasn't clear for me today. Buy and sell indicator at this point, that would be very detrimental to my success. Straight to TP, bro. What's wrong with one protraction? If it's gonna get there, it's gonna get there. You know, see one opportunity. Genuinely, no protractions in here, like at all. There's not. My model genuinely did not farm. You could argue 1059, but that would just be a rule break. Like that's not a clear setup. There really is no model for me. I don't know why everyone's hating so much. Hating so much. Only genuinely the only model that really farmed for me was, I mean, I'm talking about long here, was the 30-second CIST at 1008. This one's not risk optimal. That'd be a rule break. It's really only this one. So I guess you could say we missed that, but that's a hard move to catch. It was unclear in my opinion too, yeah. I'm gonna need a little bit more of a retrace. I need more of a retrace because I mean I could take protraction like this, but I feel like that's just me submitting into chat wanting me to take a trade. Like that's a terrible trade. We wait. I'm not trying to bother you now, but before you go, could you please answer my question regarding psychology? Of course. Let me see. Where's your question? I have to scroll up here. ERCT. Can you just resend it? I honestly can't find it. Gatie, I've watched you for some time, and I'm starting to really like the protraction model. Yeah, it's usually most people's favorite. It's pretty simple. Oh, you haven't asked? Oh, you can ask now. It's been so long. I need this. I'm homeless. Gatie, I've watched you for some. Yeah. You're my favorite. Appreciate you, bro. 5 minute OB short. I wouldn't short after that displacement. Like, I'm happy to walk away with no trade. I feel like 2 years ago, I probably would have lost today. I don't know. Gaddy, I'm struggling with making the buffer on my top step account. Got eligible for second payout on it, my fifth payout, but I cannot treat my mind to build buffer. When I try to get break even or loss. Okay, let's make it one thing clear, brother. It's not the issue isn't that it's the buffer, right? The issue is you're not making enough money to lose. Scared money don't make money. Yeah. I mean, I think you're wrong, but I actually think in this game, I mean, scared is one thing, but cautious and very patient is probably what will make you the most money. So I somewhat disagree. I think I'm calling it a week. Yeah, call it a week, bro. 10:59. No, it's not a rule break. It's not a rule break. But if you look at my checklist, it says there needs to be a clear, strong setup with confluences. And there's nothing really clear about the displacement that, took 12 minutes to form on a 1 minute time frame. That's not really a strong setup with confluences, Like, I think most people would agree that it's not a strong setup with confluences. So, bio, what the hell? I think we just formed a 5 minute. No, not yet. I'm gonna be honest, I might be flat on the day, or we just trade lunch or PM in this case, because seeing how bad PA was this week, I'm happy away with not taking a thing. Yeah, I mean, I can't be mad. I mean, we're up on the week. I said I wanted to risk profits. I am one win away from payout. Not that that should influence me. Honestly, I'm happy it didn't influence me. To be honest, going in today, I was kind of thinking that I was gonna take a bad trade. Because I just wanted to get my first payout in January, just to start the year off strong. So I'm actually kind of proud of myself that I was able to fade so many moves that were not meeting the checklist criteria. Code Gaddy in the item shop. Yo, that's actually funny for some reason. PRCT, you asked me about building a buffer. It's not a psychological issue, brother. Look at your trades. Look at your losses first. That's the easiest place to start. Look at all of them and start asking yourself, where could you improve on the losses? Stop loss placement. Maybe the trade was just avoidable. Maybe you could have risked better. Maybe you could have reduced your stop loss. Maybe you could have partial. Maybe you could have trailed your stop loss in profit and made more money. All those things, look at them. 11:04. Oh yeah, I would have done that for sure. Because I mean, think about it. By a worst case scenario, 11:04 here, you move your stop. Okay, it soups, moves up. Just re-enter. It's the same thing. Like that's how I trade. I like to be nimble like that. So you move it to 11:04. Worst case, if it's bullish and you're worried about missing the move, it soups you, forms another entry. Then you know what I mean. I can possibly trade PM session. Can you repeat what you said, please? I'm at the bottom of I see you saying that comment, but I'm not sure what you're referring to. Can you repeat what you said? So let's say you took a long here. What you can do, this is how I like to trade. You can move your stop aggressively here. Why? Why could you do something like that? Because if price is going to soup you out, okay, either you're wrong or it's going to soup you and go in your direction. If that's the case, it soups you and go, just re-enter the trade and risk the profits that you made, right? Does that make sense? You're securing money and you protect yourself in case you're wrong. So you move the stop to the most recent low. If it soups you and forms another model, you enter, and that looks like this buy side there. So I think this can keep going. But I'll be honest, looking like a no trade session for me. Kind of stings a little bit, but I'm open to maybe something in PM session. No trade for me actually. Protraction to Wednesday's high is not going to be that. It's not going to be that good. That's the thing. Because now that we're at high of day and it's lunch, we could see a deeper retracement. It's possible. That's one. Two, there is SMT at these highs right now, so I'd want to see what happens there. Three, what's it called? It's a high of day protraction. So, in general, so they're just not the best. Yeah, it was just this mess in here is what made me skeptical. But if you took the trade, shout out to you. I'm happy to be flat. It seems a lot of people are, for some reason disappointed that I'm flat on the day. I'm not sure why. Kind of a weird thing to be disappointed about, but flat. And there's more sessions. There's lunch, there's PM, and there's final hour macro. If I so really need to make money, which I don't because we're up on the week. I think what's more important is I came with the mindset of not losing too much today, and that's exactly what I was able to do. So I'm happy for that. The setup here was good at 10:47, by the way. It's just this candle opened and immediately went down. That's why I didn't take it. If this candle didn't form, like there was a lot of trades I would have taken, right? I said if it forms IRB here, okay, if it forms a 3-minute inversion now, none of those things happened. We just did other things which made me doubt and lose conviction in the trade idea, right? We didn't get a 3-minute inversion when we tapped into the 5, not until, all the way up here. We didn't get an immediate rebalance that expanded higher. This candle, when we got the inversion, did it continue higher? No, it immediately opened and came down. This fair value gap that I said, if this fair value gap holds and it moves higher, I'll take the trade. Did it hold? No. It inversed this fair value gap last second, right? Like, all these things that I needed to see to take the trade, it just simply didn't form. Did I miss the move? No. I was managing my risk. The things that I needed to see for the trade to be easy to take, I didn't see. Could I have maybe entered later here? Yeah, but then the risk reward's not good. And I guess Wednesday's high as possible, but I think if anything, this short is probably the best. But again, I'm not just gonna short now that I missed the long. But there is an SMT. It's lunch hour now. We swept buy side. We're still in that SIBI, and we're seeing some pretty nice displacement. And ES also displacing. YM's not really displacing, but YM usually gets slow. So I would study that gap. Anyways, those are my annotations for today. Pretty much all that matters. We called out the breakaway gap here. That's important. You'll notice that it forms because we already had the consolidation and we worked inside this gap so much. So once we leave that consolidation, like we spent so much time back and forth, and then we get the expansion from consolidation, and yeah, this is gonna be. It would have been really nice if there was an SMT here as well, but there wasn't actually. There was equal lows, which does count. So that is something I did miss. I was looking for that at the time to see if there was an SMT there, because that would have made this a lot easier to trust. But there wasn't. ES takes the buy side there. So Wednesday's high. I wouldn't take this trade, but I'll leave you guys with a tape read. It's possible we get that leg now. You could risk 60 bucks to try to make 200, so it's not a bad trade. And that's what I'll leave you guys with. I appreciate you guys coming through to the live stream. If you have questions, message me on Discord. I gotta do work. It's boot camp day number 2, so we gotta lock in. Macros are just times where I expect price delivery and my model to play out or form. That's all. No, I don't have a job. I haven't had a job in 2 years. I just had a brother journal tells me I took 1 or 2 comments. Someone supposed to MES to increase risk on ME. You can move to MES. It's not a bad idea. BAG stands for breakaway gap. Breakaway gap. So you know what? Let's do some proper annotations here. Price works inside discount for long. Please breakaway gap. Speed to buy fast. Like maybe I should have trusted that. I think I could argue this is a mistrade. The breakaway gap is quite telling, but not really. Like there was a 10-minute bearish that I would have had to fade, and that's hard to fade. That's hard. Like we displace and we just go sideways. No signatures of, besides the breakaway gap. So I guess I kind of did miss that, but we literally called out the breakaway gap lifetime. First 30 minutes equals choppy. 10 a.m. PO3 delivers SSL sweep for previous day high. Pretty simple stuff there. So I'll leave that. I'm just finalizing. I don't know if TikTok can even see this, but right. Wrong signatures here. You'll notice the macro delivery. This fair value gap that we couldn't get above. Got above it eventually. Blue. No, let's go orange. Leave that marker there. Actually, do I? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, those are all the key levels for me today that I'm going to annotate. So just going to remove this. I'm going to make my marker. Buy side liquidity. We'll go previous day's high here. Blue line. Those select there. Yeah, pretty nice stuff, I'd say. So this would be my screenshot AM session. And I appreciate you guys coming through to the live stream. I suppose I can stay for 2 or 3 minutes, some questions. Why is that a tape read? It's high of day. I don't want to take a protraction model at the highest point we've been all day. That's too far in premium. And it's lunch, so it could see a deeper retrace. Can I send you a screenshot of how I journal to give me some tips? You can show it on stream so we get all tips. I don't have time for that right now, but you can send me a message of your journal or we can try to do it tomorrow. I'm going to have to go do that with bootcamp right now because I'm sure they took trades and they need to be reviewed. Good short right now to 732. Yeah, it's possible. It's lunch. It could definitely move lower. Thanks, brother. I learned a lot from you. Hope you have a good day. We can try and improve. Also got fun on TBT. Thanks for your guiding. Hey, much love, brother. If you need anything, just let me know. Holding to Wednesday's high. That would be like a runner, right? Don't demand being right in order to make money. So if you took a partial here, you can trail stop and see if you can get, just ride the stop. See if it trends. If you look at ES, it's a lot closer to Wednesday's high. So it could go up there. Lunch officially starts at 11:30. Did ES really sweep that low and made SMT at 10:45? ES made equal lows, which still counts as an SMT for me. Well, not for me. In general, it counts. Does a 10:58 close count as a CISD? Yes, but it's really weak. Really weak. But yeah, it does. Just not how I'd want to see it form. Obviously, it took way too long for me. What should I say? No trades for me today. Good short right now. I'm assuming he's saying good short because we took out the buy side and we have equal lows here and it's lunch. So it's possible that we move lower. Although I also think it's possible we stay heavy and move higher. So again, I know I've been saying it all day, but it was 50-50. This week was horrible for you. It was not an easy week. Why not trade? I just joined live. Yeah, you're late, brother. 0 trades today for me. You coming back for PM? It's possible. I got to work with bootcamp and I got to go to the gym. Besides that, I am free. And I definitely am going to try to trade. I'm going to look for a trade because I took nothing this morning. If I'm at my computer trading PM, I'll stream. But it's possible I'll be on my phone trading at the gym. I'm not going to lie. I'll be completely honest with you guys. Today is push. Are you bulking? I'm just gaining muscle slowly. Trade while hitting bicep curls. To be honest, I wanted to read my book in between my sets. For some reason, I can't seem to finish this book. Like, I love it when I read it, but I just can't seem to pick it up. But if I'm doing sets in between, like I literally have nothing else to do. So PM session officially starts at 1:30. I primarily trade after 2 though, 2 to 3. Just one silver bullet hour. I try to take a scalp. Putting at them is kind of a flex. Yeah. When is your next book coming out? Probably you read a book between sets. No, I've never done that, but I'm trying to think of ways that will help it make it easier for me to just pick up the book and read it. The delivery lost the book. That's annoying. Were there any good opportunities today, did you say? I'll be honest. No. Like, this was a good opportunity. It was very hard at the time for me to trust that long though. Like it was really hard, you know? So in my personal opinion, there was opportunity, but it was not easy. There was nothing like take me free money, you know? Like that did not exist. We were looking for the right things. It just simply did not form the way that was worth it for me. You know? This setup took too long to form. It took 12 minutes. I don't like how choppy it was. And in hindsight, did I miss it? Yeah, but look how many things did not form the way I wanted it to, right? Um, and obviously, I think it could have been bearish here. Like it was not clear. Same thing here. Previous day's low was right here, so I wouldn't have been surprised. Now, if I had a clear bullish bias today, this is a very easy long. But I didn't have a. I was neutral the entire day. Like there was never at any point in time, besides like here to here, was I like yes bullish guaranteed. So obvious, you know. So I can't be mad that I missed the move. Like I didn't have the right draws, you know. Like I had the right targets, but I was never on par with narrative. Like I wasn't in flow with, you know what I'm saying? So I have atomic habits. I haven't read it yet. Lost 2% today. Can I come back? Of course. I mean, 2% is a lot, but I'm assuming it's an eval. Hopefully, if that's funded, in my opinion, it's quite a bit. Like if I lost 2% on my funded, I would not feel good personally. TGIF, I would only look for. I mean, no, it's not really a TGIF week. This is hitting me hard in the head. Do you risk 1% per trade on funded TP5? A lot of people say like you should and stuff, but like, yeah, if I was down 1K, I'd feel like shit too. I don't blame you, bro. It's gonna be like it's hard to trade. Like if you're gonna lose 1K in one day, it means you're probably risking a lot, which isn't a bad thing. But you have to mentally accept that you're gonna blow a lot of accounts and you're gonna have to cycle. Like you're gonna lose an account, get another one, pass, maybe fail, go again and again. And that's if that's the road you want to go down, that's fine. But that shit messes me up. You're down 600. That's very easy, brother. Of course, you could be down even 1.5K. Like, bro, even if you have one trade left, you guys never been on a win streak before. If you've never been on one win streak ever, you have not put enough hours in backtest, right? I'm not saying win streak on live market, but obviously win streaks happen. So even if you have one trade left, why are you giving up? Win streaks happen. They are a thing. You can win multiple trades in a row and just be in sync with the market. It happens. I had my longest win streak recently, actually. Which, by the way, now that I remember, we took a loss on Monday, right? And I didn't recoup. But I think Monday broke our loss streak, our win streak. I don't remember. Or was it break even? I don't know. I'll journal after. I haven't put my numbers into TradeZella. I think I did lose though. But we're green on the week, so did I make it back? Yeah, stop step will make you go live after 5. One time I recovered my account from like $50 drawdown. Damn. It's funded, not eval. Yeah, in my opinion, you're risking too much. But if you disagree, that's totally fine. You just have to accept that you're gonna blow accounts, bro. Like if you're risking 1% per trade, 2 losses is half your account. So you're obviously gonna just have to accept that you're gonna blow accounts, you know? Because there's another factor that people don't mind. Sure, you know, you still have 2 trades left, but how's your mental right now? Me personally, I'm not saying you. Me personally, if I lost $1,000 in one day because I'm risking 1% per trade, bro, I would be demolished. Like I would feel, I don't think I'd be able to perform that well. You know, I'd feel down. Yep, TradeZella 20% off still is a thing. How much then? 0.5. You could start with 0.5. I do even less, but 0.2, 0.5 is probably better for you. What do you think about TPT and it's a code you have for them discount? TPT is a great firm, and yes, it is a discount. TPT is a firm that if you want to use them, your goal is to get to scale, in my opinion. Like that's the only reason you would do them because their eval is not the best and their funded rules are not the best, but their payout rules and their live account is really good. So that's why I'm using them. My goal is to go live with them. That's my goal with Take Profit Trader. So we obviously have to build a buffer, which is not fun. It's live trailing drawdown, which is not fun. But what is fun is daily payouts once you make a buffer. And yeah, I'm not over the buffer yet. No, I've been de-risked for a long time, if I'm being honest. TBT is Apex, but the live account's good, daily payouts. No trades today for me. I'm down 100 and I feel annoyed because I know it could have been avoided. Are you on a 50K account? I feel like that's really good risk management, though. On evals, I'll risk 1 to 2%, depending on what I'm trying to accomplish, you know? If there's a 40% off, I'm trying to get 3 accounts passed now, let's go 2%. I don't have evals that often. 1 to 2%. Goddamn, 200 could have been up 400, but made it stupid. Yeah. I have advice for you, brother. Forget about how much money you can make, because it doesn't matter. Focus on how you can not lose money. The goal is to not make money. The goal isn't to make. The goal is to not lose money. Shift the mindset. You didn't make a stupid mid-bait. You could have been up more money. Yeah, bro. You know what? I could have entered turtle soup here and closed here. But your goal is incorrect, which is why you're beating yourself up, because you're saying I could have made more money, but you just have the wrong goal to begin with. Shouldn't be your goal at all, right? Today could have been a day where you lost money. So just remember that. Always stay grounded. TBT funded is really going to test my patience and discipline. Yeah, it will. It will. Would you say that's a good turtle soup? If you were bullish at the time, yeah, it is a really good turtle soup. What's your favorite other than alpha? For me personally, take profit trader. And I say that because, not because the rules are good, but because like for my situation, that's really all I need, right? I need one firm that's going to give me good, easy payouts consistently, and one firm that's going to have a good chance for me scaling with them. Apex is another option, which by the way, they are running a discount right now. It's like cheap activation fees and 80% off, so pretty good. Apex is the other option instead of take profit trader. You really only need 2 types of firms. That inversion, I'll be honest, inversion, like before this candle bio at 1048, that shit was perfect, like really good. The only reason I didn't take that trade was because as soon as, you probably saw it, as soon as 1048 came, it immediately started trading lower. So I said, okay, let me see if we get immediate rebalance. And then we didn't. So I faded, right? That's literally the only reason I didn't take it. So in my opinion, the inversion setup at 1047, that's a high quality trade. A setup, quick, speed, 15-minute gap, 10-minute gap, 5-minute gap, discount. It retraced, left the buy side, 1050 macro. The narrative was pretty clear. Previous day's high, strong draw. Wednesday high on ES. All really good. It's just that next candle, to me, immediately told me this shit is either going lower, sideways, or it's unclear. And I guess for me, it was unclear. What would you say Funded Next is good for consistent payouts? Yeah, Funded Next is a little bit of a worse version of Alpha Futures. That's how I see it. Funded Next, you can throw them in the boat with Lucid, Lucid, like Top Step, Funded Next. You can group those. I put Tradeify in there too. That's like for me, solid firm. How are you so good in your mind? Reading helped. A lot of journaling helped. A lot of journaling reflection. I'd say books, journaling, reflection, the most. That's what helped me the most. Also, just like kind of being aware. Just have to be aware. Alpha standard to make 0.5 TP. How long you can keep? You can keep it forever, brother. How do you properly use the CISD? As a confirmation to enter a trade. That's what I'll use it for. I'll rarely use it for buys. 50K evals, how much you risk? Either 500, anywhere from 500 to 1,000. It depends on my goal. Let's say I have funded accounts and I'm trying to pass another one to just add to my stash. I'll risk 1%. You know, just a calm little. But let's say I have 40% off Alpha Futures. I'm going to risk 2%. I want to pass the accounts that I want to pass in that time period because it's probably gonna save me money. So something I posted on Discord. This is the last thing I'll say. What time is it? This is the last thing I'll say before I go. Something that honestly really helped me. Your Jordy. Is that Jordy? I think this will help Jordy too, because he's probably maybe getting towards that level. Make an Excel sheet, or even make a bank account, just for trading. Hear me out. When you literally take it, money in versus money out, literally, like, you put a bank account. This is my money for my business. This is what I have to spend. You can't even afford to gamble. I have a bank account right now with $0 because it's January. There's nothing in there. I couldn't even buy an eval if I wanted to until I get paid. How am I supposed to start full porting my accounts and shit? It would make no sense. Money in versus money out. Now, obviously, I have money. I still have a personal bank account and I could purchase it, but I run everything to that account. An Excel sheet with money in versus money out, you're gonna need, they're gonna probably need that for taxes anyways, expenses and income. So do that. But on top of that, you could even make a bank account or like a separate savings account or something on the side where you're like, all right, the goal is to be profitable. The goal is not to be profitable in winning trades. The goal is to have more money in your bank than you took out of your bank. That's the goal. So if that's your goal, set it up. Set up an Excel sheet. How much money are you spending? How much money are you getting? If you're spending thousands, you're not getting anything. You have to change something. Stop spending. That's the last thing I'll say. I'll answer the last couple questions and I'll call it. I watched my video on CISD. I can't really sit here and explain it. Did you know? Didn't you was live? You take any set? I took no trades today. Did you know you live? I'm live every single day, man. I'm live every single day. Took Protraction short at 11/20/22. Stop day moved to 8/81. 32? You said 22. 11/22. That would be technically not a protraction, but it looks like it formed on. So remember, protraction needs to form from a fair value gap or a high. So yes, we retraced. Yes, we moved lower. But we technically did not. Again, I'm just saying it for my model and stuff. You could view it as an order block. I'm not saying that. But my protraction model, it needs to form from a gap when the OB forms, or from a swing high sweep, which we don't have here. But, like, see, I used to get on this inversion or something, like, doesn't technically count for me. Damn, firm seems too good to be choose. Any hidden rules that are annoying? What's wrong with TPT funded account rules? You said it ain't nice. It's not bad. The reason it's annoying is because you need 5 trading days on eval, and 50% consistency, which isn't too bad. And then for funded, you have live trailing drawdown, and you need to build a buffer for payout, which is kind of annoying. So it's not the easiest payout. Again, it's not that bad. Like, I've seen worse. It's just, if your goal is an easy payout, I need money in my account, I have $0. Probably don't choose take profit first. Give out the barber name. My barber's Hammy. It's my best friend since grade 5, grade 6. Bad short here. Just if you have a target, then it's a good short in my opinion. But you have to be bearish first. Don't just follow the pattern. Why do you have the CIC account that has sub liquidity? Why not the start of the move? This is a 30-second CIC. So you're right. On the 1-minute chart, it would be all the way up here. But that's not an entry that I would ever scout. 30-second chart, you'll see it right there. It's one candle, down close with the sweep. It's perfect, right? 30-second CIC. That's why it says that. Oh, someone gave me a hat. Thank you. Hands down, my phone in the future is the best one next to Alpha. Yeah, I would view them like as similar in the boat. Again, I would put them with Top Step Fund and Net, but that's just me. What prop firm you choose instead to get your first payout? You got to get an Alpha Zero account, bro. Like, I'll be honest. For money in versus money out, it's the best return on your investment that you can get. The best. Money in, money out is Alpha Futures Zero. Anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through. I will see you guys live. I appreciate you, the hat, Seb. I don't know how much money that cost, Seb. I don't want you to spend your money on me, bro. Unless you're the sneaker millionaire, then I guess I don't really care. But I appreciate you guys coming through the live stream. Great streams this week. The win streak continues supposedly on the week. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys live on Monday every single week. If you're in the boot camp, then we're gonna go put in work right now. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.